What does it mean to be a good family person? Dave and Buster's on Friday. What does it mean to be a good family person, to have family values? There have been so many different books written upon this topic. And no one's gotten it right yet. We have the answer, don't we? Husbands and wives, love each other. Children and parents, love each other. Friends and relatives, love each other. People on opposite sides of the spectrum, love each other. Friends, family is not perfect, but it always has the potential to be perfect if we can take love and incarnate it. And we heard a beautiful example of how to do that. Family is created when communication happens, when forgiveness happens, when acceptance happens. That's when family is created. The one thing that I remember that my mother told me when I was a child, she said, whatever you do in your life, don't forget that I love you. So simple. Now, how often do we remember that? When we are in a crisis, do we remember that we're loved and supported and cared for? No. We focus on the crisis, and that's human. And that's why Paul said in that gospel reading, over kindness and graciousness and all these things, he said, over all these things that are so virtuous, what did he say? Put on love. Like clothes. Like you and I put on clothes every day, we have to put on love every day. That's what helps us to be family people. Otherwise, it becomes theory and technique, and it fails. But what do we hear in that reading from the Corinthians? Love never fails. Theories and prophecies and psychologies fail. But love never fails. The church's Feast of Holy Family is a little pre-starter to the new year, inviting us to ask a deep question. How do we want to live this year? Do we want to put on love? Or do we want to put on other things that are opposed to love? Break it open, friends. That's the homework. What does it mean to love? What does it mean to allow ourselves to be loved? Why aren't we doing that? Why are we hiding? Because we're afraid sometimes, aren't we? Put on love. It works. But it means sometimes we have to forgive. It means sometimes we have to repair. It means sometimes we have to change our thinking. It means sometimes we have to say one more time. It means sometimes we have to take our medicine or stop taking too much medicine. Putting on love means getting it right, because we belong to God's family. And that means something. Not just about pristine, lovely statues. It's about action. And what do we hear in that gospel reading? Herod was a family person, but what do we know about Herod? Herod felt absolutely intimidated by everybody. That's how he stayed on top. He even killed his own sons because he was afraid they would supplant him. Well, let's contrast Herod to Joseph. When Joseph hears that there is trouble from an angel, he simply responds in a loving way. And friends, traveling in that part of the ancient world wasn't like traveling today. I don't know if you know this, but Southwest did not exist back then. Any sort of travel was difficult, and it was dangerous. You had to move your whole life. And that's what Joseph did. As a family person, right? As family people, we don't let adversity stop us from loving. We find ways to repair, to reconcile. And that's why we come Sunday after Sunday, to ask for the courage to do that. Because sometimes we have problems that feel insurmountable. But nothing is impossible for God. And that's why my prayer and hope in this new year is that we can put on love like clothes, close to us, in every aspect of our life, allowing the effect to be greater health, mental health, personal health, and whatever ways we need help, to allow it to land. That's what it means to be a family. And that's what it means to put on love.